For the following example, we are going to find the equation of the given quadratic equation. So we're given a graph, right? We're given a parabola here, and we are expected to take this graph, then turn it into an equation here in vertex form. Now, when we have to go to graph to equation here, so this is vertex form of a parabola which we have, which means for us, we need to plug in, if there is an a other than 1, we need to plug in for that. Otherwise, we need to plug in for hk. Those are the only components that we need to plug into this equation. Now, if your graph is positive, this a over here should be positive. If our graph were turning downward like this, that would tell us to put a negative in here in front of a. Now, a lot of times is 1, but sometimes could be a different number depending on our graph. If we have a stretch, which makes our graph wider, or if we have a compression, which makes our graph skinnier, that's what a does here. It tells us, is it positive or is it negative? Is there a compression or a stretch on our graph? Now, the way that you know if you're going to have a number here in front, take a look at the points on your graph. Find the vertex. Here's our vertex. If the points 2 and 3 are over 1, up 1 from the vertex, right? If I go to the right 1 and up 1, and that's where my next point is on either side, over 1, up 1, that means this a is a 1, which applies to our graph here. Our a is a 1, and it is positive because our graph is going up. So we essentially, a is a positive 1 for our graph, which we don't need to write. We can start with our parentheses. Now, that means for us, all we have to do is plug in hk. And hk, keep in mind, is the vertex of your equation here. So this point here is a 1, 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug that into this equation here, x minus h is a 1 squared, and k is also a 1. All right, so let's also just go back over our graph here just to make sure everything looks good. Again, our graph opens up, so it is positive here in front. We're talking about a regular parabola, no compression, no stretch. All right, so we have a positive 1 here in front. Keep in mind, so maybe work backwards. If you're given an equation of quadratic, you're able to pull hk from the equation. Right? This is h, this is k. Remember, the number on the inside is the opposite sign, same number. So that means h is a positive 1, k is also a positive 1. So from my equation, I am pulling a 1, 1, and my vertex here is a 1, 1. So all the numbers, all the signs look good. This is our equation in vertex form.